Good morning, everybody, to the Friday edition of Curd and Long. I'm Bart Winkler, filling in for. Oh, wait, shit, wrong show. How is the Curd show going? I like the Curd show.
You confused me there. We do that on Friday. You know, it's been fun. We yesterday we did a Packers podcast where I think I even got Steve. I don't think we talked any Packers, to be honest with you. We talked Giannis. I brought up if the Bucks would have drafted Joel Embiid over Jabari Parker. We talked about Sparky brought up like what would have happened if Jabari never got injured. And I said I don't ever really think about like the what ifs with Jabari.
Curd and Long?
Yeah, I don't really know. We talked Badgers, we talked Fickle, we talked Jim Leonard, we talked Brewers, we talked Cubs. I think we talked Aaron Judge. It was a wild, wacky Wednesday episode. It's the bye week, and
it's a bye week, yeah.
They suck. You know, it's not like this is an 11-win team, and we're trying to like figure things out. Now, I figured the Rams was going to be a guaranteed win. I'm a little nervous now that they got Baker in there, man. Not that he's any good, but I was expecting to see John Wolford. I was happy with that result.
On YouTube, I can't get my hat to look good in front of. I'm outside Golden Chicken, who brings you the Friday shows. Golden Chicken, Hales Corners, 414-427-5500.
Best chicken.
Can't get my hat. I'm just gonna have to go. I didn't shower. I'm just gonna have to go hair.
Yeah, I went to the gym and didn't shower, and then I had to go to the dentist, take my kid to school. So I'm a little sweaty. I got some swamp ass. Hey, shout out Golden Chicken. You know what they should trademark? Best chicken on the fucking planet.
You want him to trademark the F word in there?
Yeah, because like everybody, I've heard best chicken on the planet, best fried chicken. The best fried chicken you could get, best fried chicken in Hale's Corners. But if they went with, you'd probably have to put like effing, kind of like when Rob Van Dam was in ECW, he was the whole fucking show. And then when he left ECW, he was the whole effing show. So maybe they could go the PG-13 route. Like Golden Chicken, best fucking chicken in Hale's Corners. And you're like edgy, you know? Everybody's got to come see what the fuss is about.
Do you know who's really good chicken, actually, since we're on the topic?
Golden Chicken's the only chicken.
Yeah, Golden Chicken.
Yeah.
GoldenChickenHC.com.
I was going to say, I literally, when I lived in Wisconsin, did not eat chicken from anywhere else. Not even Popeyes. I eat Popeyes now because I have to, and I'm just going to throw them out there because it's decent. Not even close. The fries are always soggy as shit. You never have that problem at Golden Chicken. Those things are always crispy. They don't have no mini tacos at Popeyes.
Need the mini tacos.
They don't have the fish fry on Fridays. And I'm Catholic, so during Lent, WTF am I supposed to do around here? I feel like I'm like the only Catholic person that lives in Washington.
Are you following Ike Catholic on Twitter?
No, I'm not. But like, I have to drive 25 minutes if I want to even go to church. How crazy is that?
There's no Catholics out there?
I don't think so, man.
Like, weren't the Catholics Plymouth Rock people, or were they Protestants?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I went to church growing up because my grandparents made me.
I stopped talking about religion on the radio or in these kind of formats because one of the first things that I really pissed somebody off for with like fire this guy is I was like, it was years ago. I was like, man, I just hate the people that go to church and sit front row and like try to audition for Jesus to get to heaven. And someone's like, he doesn't understand the relationship that I have with my Lord and Savior.
Yeah, that's seriously though. You can't say that, you dummy. Never. Religion and politics. Those are the two things you should never talk about, right?
I thought, but nobody seems to care anymore.
And COVID. Like, hey, tell me if this would have got me canceled. I've already told you this, but I'll talk about it on the podcast because I feel like this is my safe place. Do you think I would have got canceled if I would have told a funny joke like when Brittany Griner, when we got her back, we're let's be honest, we're recording this on a freaking Thursday, okay? I actually want to just say, hey, we're recording this on Thursday. Have you make this the Thursday episode so we can pick the Thursday night games? But you got to be all wild, wacky with it. I want to
pick the Thursday night game.
Good. I wanted to ask if we could get some cash considerations or if we had to throw in a draft pick in return for Brittany Griner. Would that have been funny, or would people have like got really mad? Like the time that I made that, Bart?
I'm here.
Oh, I don't know that I like this. This is creepy. And now you can see me and my wife at Lambeau Field in the background. Would that have got me canceled? Like the time that I told that funny Tom Brady joke, and like for some reason that girl with the check mark, like I am woman, hear me roar, like tried to cancel me because I made that awesome joke about how Tom Brady was the man for choosing football over his wife.
Well, everyone's mad about everything, so
you're a real dummy. Your wife should be really lucky. Well, yeah, I'm not the one choosing football over my wife. That's Tom Brady. You know, my wife understands that on Wednesdays we watch Toledo in this house.
I mean, if you're Tom Brady and the division you're in so bad that you basically got a free route to the playoffs, that's a tough choice.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the games. We'll do that coming up right after these words. We are back. We are live. We are happening. It is a Thursday, but it's the Friday show. Boo-hoo. No one cares. I go live enough to get the street cred that I need, I think, which we are going live again Sunday night after Bucks Rockets. We'll share all our NFL thoughts during a riveting Chargers Dolphins game.
That game's going to be awesome.
Well, we'll do it live then.
Who gives a shit about the Rockets?
Are you down? I'm trying to do two things. I'm trying to get a live
I'm not talking
Badger post game. No, I want to do a live Badger bowl game show.
This year?
For 4 hours. Talk about Graham Mertz going to Kentucky.
No, like who are they even playing? I forgot already.
Are you going to Oklahoma State, first time ever? Are you going to come back for my Chuck and Winkler reunion show that I'm going to do at a theater?
Yeah, I mean, like if everybody there will have me, I love everybody on that show. I don't know. I feel like there's people that wouldn't want me there for some reason, even though I never did anything to anybody ever when I was making $6 an hour.
And who would that guy be?
Freems all of a sudden got mad at me. I texted him after the Bucks won the championship. We've talked, but remember Freems was like all mad at me on 92 won the game or whatever the station is, the station with Kuhn and JP or whatever his name is, the guy that doesn't like sports. You got, you know, but
KB,
oh yeah, I thought it was JP. JP's out here. Yeah, I don't know. He was like all mad at me and saying I like, you know, I don't want to get into it, but yes, I would love to be at the reunion show as long as you know, nobody's gonna throw fisticuffs at me.
Well, maybe that'd be the fun of it.
Well, no, because I don't have any beef with anybody there.
I'm trying to get surprised. I haven't even asked Chuck if he's into
it. No. I love Freems. I would take a bullet for Freems.
I love Freems.
You know this. Me and him, we would talk college basketball. He was my guy. I like Freems way more than I like anybody at that station. I remember there was somebody, and I had a problem with one of my old co-hosts that would do this, and he would go, and the Bucks won the game 13-26. And I remember we had somebody that used to do the updates, and Freems would always ream them. And I was like, thank you, because my pet peeve, for some reason, there's people that get into this business and they don't know how to read scores.
Who did that? Who did that? Was that Mandela?
No, it wasn't Mandela.
Who was
Even if it was, I wouldn't tell you it's Mandela because I love Mandela. But
I remember someone doing it, and I was so pissed.
No, Mandela used to write that on the website with the scores, and remember, it would drive me nuts, and it would drive Freems nuts. Yeah, Freems is my guy. But Wicked is trying to take $100 from me because one night at like 11 p.m., I was shit-faced and I was on social media and I was fired up, and he started talking about Aaron Rodgers throwing these picks, and he made some fake $100 bet that I agreed to, drunk, and now he's like, hey, you owe me $100. And I have no problem chipping off Wicked for $100 if we shook. But you know what? I've decided... And you're lucky I'm even coming on this podcast because I love you, but I might have to mute this podcast because every time on Tuesday or whatever, when you have Pete on and I hear, Aaron Rodgers, he didn't wear a mask at the Halloween party and he caught COVID. He could have killed Randall Cobb's family. I just want to take my computer and I want to chuck it. But, you know, all you I don't want to do business with you anymore. I don't want to do business with you, Aaron Rodgers haters. In fact, hold on one second. Talk. Ow, I just stubbed my toe. Keep talking.
All right. I don't know where Horvat's going. I assume that I think I know what I think he's going to put on a jersey. After we talk with Horvat and do the picks, We will get into some voicemails. You can leave your voicemails 402-915 Bart 402-915.
You got so much shit to say about this guy behind his back. I'm bringing a special guest on the show, right? If this guy is here right now, what would you say to this man right here to his face? You, Wicket, and Pete.
Cover your face. We have, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron, I just got to say that you are just you're just a tremendous person. What a nice God. The way, look at your beautiful eyes. Why are you flipping me off?
I dabble in some sports talk radio. I used to listen to 1250 AM The Fan, not to your bogus ass program, but I was a big fan of that guy on the middays. What was his name? The big unit from the lakeside to the riverside?
Rodgers, you got to understand that it's my job to criticize our athletes. I have nothing against you personally, except the way that you treat other people and the world and your worldviews. But I have nothing against you personally, even though I think you're the rift between you and your parents.
Let me ask you this, Winkler.
He knows my name.
Did you enjoy watching us beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I don't think that was the same Rod. I don't think I'm talking to the same Rodgers. I don't think I'm talking to the same Rodgers.
You know what? I'm done with this. But you wouldn't say these things to this man's face.
Why do you still have a Rodgers cutout fathead in your home? You're 35 years old.
Hey, you would not say that to Aaron Rodgers' face. It'd be like the time that you for a week.
No.
I'm going there. David Stearns, MVS, Ty Summers, but the worst one ever is when you were all fired up for some reason at Kyle Brandt. It made no sense. And I said, all right, we got Kyle Brandt coming on the show on Monday. And by the end of the interview, you had a Kyle Brandt jersey on. You had a Kyle Brandt fathead. You were like, I love that guy. And I said, you were talking shit about him all week long. And I told you how cool he was.
That's because I got that KB confused with the KB I really hate.
We ain't dead.
All right, let's get
RELAX.
Let's get to the picks. The Thursday night game.
What the fucking ball?
The Thursday is Baker playing? Did Baker play?
So let's just pick this game. Just like we never have to do this again, but Baker Mayfield might be starting for the Rams with like 2 days to learn the playbook. So let's call this one, right? I'm going to bet Baker Mayfield plus 6.5. They're saying that you know what's weird? They're saying like he could be involved in some packages. I don't think you're like, what are you going to do? Like run a special package on the goal line? Are they running like the Taysom Hill shit for Baker? He's a disaster.
You don't run special packages for quarterbacks. You just put him in at quarterback.
I think Baker's starting in this game. Like, what do the Rams have to lose? Literally nothing. Everybody on this team is dead. I'm going to bet them plus 6.5. I mean, the Raiders have been playing good. Josh Jacobs, I just bet him to win Offensive Player of the Year at 20-1. Devontae is the best receiver in the league still, other than Christian Watson, of course. They've been playing better defensively. Raiders are 5-7 now. They're still alive, but should they be 6.5-point favorites over anybody? This team is dog crap. So I'm going to take
Raiders
the Rams.
Are coming back to Los Angeles. Remember them? They used to be in Los Angeles. Raider Nation is weird. The Raiders could play anywhere and they'd still get support. Like a lot of Oakland fans still like the Raiders, and a lot of LA fans still like the Raiders. Not all of them, but they're a weird fan base. I'm going to take the Raiders to cover. I'm not. That's 7. I got 7. You got 6.5.
Oh, if it's at 7, then I like the Rams even more. Yeah, I'm looking at 6.5 right now out here, but shop around, as I like to say. Yeah, okay.
You better shop around.
All right, so I like this. We got a show bet right away. You are going with the Raiders. Hey, what is Cone Roller? Who, by the way, I love. Cone Roller cracks me up. What a great get he was on the podcast when he had that thing on his head.
Cone Roller makes me laugh more than
the
average people do. Yeah, I think he's funny.
Yeah, I think he should be doing a podcast.
That's not supposed to be up.
Be right back on Bing. That was like back when you had AIM and you'd have to go grab a Dr. Pepper, but like if your chick came back, you didn't want her to like sign off for the night because you were trying to get some nudes, or maybe she was trying to get some nudes. Who knows? 2 dragons. What about this one? Oh, Yeah, I can't wait to talk about this one, actually. So Sunday night at like 10 p.m., these games are released, and this one opened up Vikings, who are 10-2. We're only they're playing the Lions, obviously. Lions are 5-7. Lions are favored in this game now. It was 2.5. Now it's down to 1.5. It's bouncing all over the place. I played the Lions on Sunday night +1. And then I woke up Monday morning and they were favored by 2.5 points. Now we're looking at like 1.5, 2. I think that's telling you everything you need to know, right? You have a 5-win team favored over a 10-win team. And it's telling you that the Vikings, they're big fucking frauds, Bart. And the Lions, I take back every bad thing I said about Dan Campbell. Kind of wish we had Dan Campbell. That guy is a total goofball. I called him a glorified gym teacher. But I don't know, man. He's got the Lions playing.
You could take LaFleur's. I was going to say LaFleur's smarts and Campbell's attitude, but I don't even know that LaFleur's that smart.
Yeah. I mean,
does Matt LaFleur even have an offense, or does he just trace the plays that Kyle Shanahan used to run?
I don't know. I've been really bored lately, so I've been pulling back like the all 22 of like the last 3 years since LaFleur's taken over. And like he was creative the first couple of years, but also Devontae Adams is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to Devontae Adams was not fair. I know in the cold weather at Lambeau Field against San Francisco, they played their worst game, and unfortunately season was over because they would have beat the shit out of the Rams the next week or whoever else. But, I mean, that was like a cheat code. So that's the thing, I mean, yeah, they used a lot of pre-snap motion, which McCarthy didn't like to do. And they just ran like a
on Twitter trying to argue. Michael David Smith was trying to argue that the Rams made a bad trade by getting Stafford, that they were rewarded for bad behavior.
They won a Super Bowl. Yeah, man. Would you take 9 straight losing seasons, last place finishes in the NFC North for one more Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Well, you don't like Rodgers, so would you?
If the options are whatever the options are, whatever gets me more Super Bowls, I'm taking that option.
Yeah.
And if you can guarantee me one, I'm taking. I want Super Bowls don't grow on trees, man. I know that that's shocking analysis for you, rum-dums out there.
Yeah, no shit. Anyway, I love the Lions this week. I think the Lions, they're humming right now offensively. They just hung 40 on Jacksonville last week. Granted, that's Jacksonville. I think the Lions beat the shit out of the Vikings this week, and I can't wait. Because if the Vikings win and the Lions lose, they clinch the NFC North. They're eventually going to win it. But let's make them sweat it out a little bit. I hate them. Go! Like the Bears.
Well, they ripped that off, but they won't acknowledge that they did. That's what pisses me off.
I know Bears fans hate Packers fans. Packers fans hate Bears fans. Like Lions fans hate us. I don't really think we care about them. Their fan bases really don't bother me. Like the Bears fans, like they just eventually want to have a winning season. But Minnesota, have you ever seen a fan base that they've never won shit. They've literally never won anything. Ever.
They got this little brother complex all the time.
Like Paul Allen is like always
very Marquette of them.
I don't talk shit about Marquette right now with Shaka Smart out there, man. He is I root for Marquette and Wisconsin, and I could do that.
Me too.
Yeah, I love Greg Gard. I love Shaka. I just want to see relevant basketball in my favorite state. Because even though I was born in Illinois, I talk about this on the show all the time. I'm moving back to Wisconsin. I hate Illinois. I don't hate where I grew up, but I'm team Wisconsin. When I'm buried, I want to be buried in Wisconsin. Just so you know, when I die, will you make sure that happens?
Your Cubs got Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, everybody was like shitting on that. I was like, okay, it's a prove it deal for a 27-year-old former MVP. If Yelich was a free agent, I'd want him for a year. I'd
rather have a prove it deal for 1 year than Yelich's 8-year prove it deal that he's on.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's like fired up about it. I'm like, I just watched Jason Hayward bet 175 for 6 years, and you guys were all fired up because he gave a fucking speech during a rain delay. Like that's the reason. Well, Jason Hayward, you can't replace what he brought into the clubhouse. Yeah, you can, with like 4 other players that made that same salary that could have said, hey guys, fucking raining out. When we get back on the field, let's beat this team, right? They're gonna have to change their name in 2 years, and that's. I hated that.
I'm gonna take the Vikings actually.
God, really?
I saw this graphic that was going around about how if you flip the records of the one-score games, the Vikings would actually be like 1-11. So I think a lot of people are thinking, well, the rent's going to be due, but I'm thinking they know how to win those kind of games. I'm going to take them to win. Unfortunately, I am.
I think the Lions, here's a hot take. You could clip this. I think the Lions are a better team than the Vikings.
Well, they're 5-7, man, so they're not.
The Vikings are lucky as shit, by the way. Go back.
Hey, I guess that's why they play the games.
I mean, look at some of these wins, like things we can never have. Imagine like us playing Buffalo, Josh Allen, they had to just take the fucking safety, and Buffalo wins that game. Instead, never mind. I don't want to get into it. I hate Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't even like talking about it. Like I'm sick to my stomach.
The fuck does skull mean?
It means stolen chant from Iceland.
Philadelphia. Our boy Daniel Jones. Here's my favorite bet of the week, man. Danny Jones at home +7. It's a divisional game. Daniel Jones is 3-1 against the spread against the Eagles in his career. They continue to disrespect this man. He stinks, but man, he could use his legs. Saquon can run. I know Philadelphia just shut down Derrick Henry, which stunk because I had an uncomfortable amount of money on the Titans last week. Our Titans theory didn't work out, unfortunately, for us last week because Philadelphia and AJ Brown was pinning the ball off DB's backs. But the Giants are going to keep this game close because I think they're going to be able to run the ball. The Eagles really struggled to defend those short passes. We saw that. I mean, shit. Rodgers and the Packers hung 30+ on them. Jordan Love hung 10 on them. So I will go with the Giants +7 to keep this game close with a little sprinkle on the money line. I'm not saying the Eagles are overrated. They could hang 50 on anybody, but I don't know, man. Like, they're not my pick to come out of the NFC. I think that I want to see Jalen do it in the playoffs. He's played one playoff game. They got blown out by Tampa Bay. I actually trust Dallas more, even with McCarthy, because
Dallas is going to the Super Bowl. It's Dallas, Buffalo.
Their defense is awesome. It's either Dallas or it's San Francisco, but I just don't know if our guy Brock Purdy could get it done.
I am going to take the Giants. DJ, the best, the hottest DJ since Candace Cameron Burr.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Giants to cover at least. Division game, 7 points.
Exactly.
Eagles are good. I think they really rallied around AJ last week, AJ Brown.
Dude,
so we'll see.
I wish we had AJ Brown.
Well, cost was what, a second and a third?
I'm not here to bitch about the wide receiver room, actually, believe it or not. Actually, I keep seeing these mock drafts now where we take like the Johnston kid or we take a wide receiver. I don't want a wide receiver because Christian Watson's the real deal. Romeo Doubs is the real deal. He just needs to build his confidence back up.
I've been disappointed in Allen Lazard this year. Why? What? He's not doing much.
Well, I mean, Allen Lazard is not a number one wide receiver. He's a nice 3 or 4. He could block. He's a good fit for LaFleur's offense in the role, the War Daddy role or whatever the hell, but he's not a number one wide receiver. That's the thing. Like, it's hard to be mad at some of these guys. I mean, there was unrealistic expectations. I'm mad at the defense. The defense, there's no fucking excuses for any of those dudes. I forgot Kenny Clark was on the team until last week against the Bears. So I think, unfortunately, even though the last 7 drafts have been defense, I don't know how you don't go defense. Like, I don't know how you don't go safety. Darnell Savage clearly isn't it. Adrian Amos.
You want him to go defense now?
Yeah. I mean, no, but yeah, kind of, because I mean, I don't think offense is the problem right now. Do you? I think it's the defense. I think they can't stop the run. I mean, the problem is this team is fucked because like they're built to play with leads. They never have leads. They have they're still a top 10 pass defense, believe it or not, even when you got Jair Alexander getting cooked by a bunch of nobodies. But they can't stop the run. And so, I mean, Quay looks like he's the answer. I don't know what they do, man. I think you got to go. I like Wyatt. Obviously, Kenny Clark's not going.
I don't see how the pieces fit for them to win a Super Bowl again with a $50 million old ass quarterback.
Trade Rodgers. If Rodgers was the quarterback of San Francisco, they'd win the Super Bowl this year. So I don't know about old ass wash, blah 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 quarterback that I keep.
So then, how have we not? If you're saying that now, how have we not won a Super Bowl in the last 10 years? It's always been defense.
Not last year. Last year it was special teams. I mean, Rodgers, all they had to do was not have a fucking punt blocked, man, and a kick blocked in that game. I mean, and Rodgers and the offense weren't doing shit, but either was San Francisco. It was cold as hell. Like nobody
I think if
was.
Rodgers had won one more Super Bowl, maybe I should dial it back a little bit, because the defense in the last 10 years has been such a problem, and they kept doing bad things to fix it. And then when that problem didn't work, like, all right, Dom Capers doesn't work, so let's give him another 2 years. Mike Pettin, good year, it's not working. Let's give him another year. Joe Barry should have been fired on Labor Day.
No, we're doing this now. The picks can wait in a second, all right? We're doing this, all right? This is going to be a two-part thing for you. We're going to go over really quickly here Aaron Rodgers playoff losses, okay?
Yeah.
And first off, we're going to go over – let me pull it up really quick. Let me pull it up. In these losses, he averages 274 passing yards in these games, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. All right. We'll see which one of these you could actually legitimately blame on Aaron Rodgers. Let's start in 2009. Wild card loss to the Cardinals. That was the night where I was like, Aaron Rodgers is the real freaking deal. That was all on the defense. I mean, they couldn't get one stop. He doesn't touch the ball.
Yeah, I don't blame that on Rodgers.
In overtime. No, that's when you realize Rodgers was the guy, right? 2012 divisional loss to the San Francisco 49ers. That's on the defense.
45-31. What was that?
You can't allow Colin Kaepernick, nobody at the time, to rush for 185 yards against you.
Okay, that's fine. 0 for 2.
2013, the wild card loss. They really had no business being in the playoffs that year. The 49ers were clearly the better team. They actually should have won that game. Micah Hyde drops that interception. Colin Kaepernick has a bunch of scrambles. They go 90. Colin Kaepernick has 98 yards rushing in that game. They kicked the game winner with Phil Dawson. Rodgers wasn't very good, but he had a fractured collarbone. Remember, he just had come back week 17 to beat the Bears. It's hard really to put that one on him. I mean, he was probably playing 60%, 70%. He was hurt. That team wasn't very good. San Francisco was pretty good that year, and they should have won the game. I was at that game. It was cold as shit.
Okay.
All right.
3. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, 2016, the NFC Championship loss to Atlanta. Rodgers wasn't great, but you have the Ripkowski fumble right away, which sets them back. And you had my guy Ladarius Gunter covering Julio Jones, prime Julio Jones, who at one point, I think Ladarius Gunter was decapitated in that game. I think his head was literally stiff-armed off.
Did you skip 2014?
We're getting there. All right.
Yep.
2016. Is that on Rodgers or is that on the defense?
Okay, fine. It's on Ripkowski.
2019 NFC title loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Rodgers, the offense didn't do anything, but they gave up 298 rushing yards in that game.
They traveled the wrong day. That's on LaFleur.
2020 NFC Championship loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rodgers was good in the second half of that game.
That's on Rodgers. That game's on Rodgers.
Why?
You had 2 3-and-outs.
All right, so you're okay. So I'll give you 2020s on Rodgers, even though second half of that game, 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, outplays Brady. He's playing without David Bakhtiari. He gets sacked 4 times in that game by the best pass.
I got to put one of these on Rodgers, otherwise my whole narrative's done.
Yeah, all right, fine, because he gets the ball back. How many times? 2 times, 3 times. They do nothing with it. They have that. He forces it to Devontae. All right, 2020s on Rodgers. There you go. 2011 NFC divisional loss to the New York Giants. The Packers that season, 15-1. Just a shitty week. Obviously, what happens with Joe Philbin's son. The defense that year, we knew the defense stunk, right? It was ultimately going to be why they would lose. They get absolutely cooked in that game by Eli. I'll put that on Rodgers, though, in the offense. I mean, that was a 15-1 team. They were bad that game. They had there's 8 drops in that game, though. 8 drops in that game.
I'd be willing to go back and watch and change.
I did. 2015 divisional loss to the Arizona Cardinals, the game where Aaron Rodgers finds your boy Jeff Janis, Hail Mary pass, doesn't even touch the ball in overtime. Again, hard to put that one on Aaron Rodgers.
Can't do it.
Not on Rodgers, right? 2021 divisional last year against San Francisco. That on Rodgers?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. And then 2014 NFC title loss to Seattle. I saved that one for last. Rodgers shouldn't have even been on the field. He was playing at 50%. He was hurt. Didn't he have surgery the day after?
Okay, so if the exercise,
we'll still put that on Rodgers, right?
Well, let's not.
They
And then so the two that I put on are the last two games.
5 takeaways, but that was the Legion of Boom defense.
If the two that I can for sure put on them are the last 2 playoff losses. So it's time to move on.
Time to move on to Jordan
Also,
Love.
I don't like him, so it's time to move on.
What? I need to know why you don't like him, though. I need a good answer of why you don't like him, and then we can go on to the games.
I don't like Aaron Rodgers because he reminds me of the me that I want to be.
I'm so upset.
No, I don't like Rodgers because first of all, the reaction, he takes up too much of my time. He takes up too much of everyone's time. I don't like that he's become bigger than the Packers and everything he says has to be dissected. I don't like that. But as far as him personally, I think he thinks he would go to a restaurant, world-class restaurant, and tell the chef, I can make it better than you. He's a little too, I understand you have to have an ego, but he doesn't have an ego. He's weird. He's got what Bodie accused me of having. A superiority complex and an inferiority complex at the same time.
Nick Bodie said that about you?
No, bow tie.
I think that, all right, I'm moving on from the Aaron Rodgers stuff. Okay, fine, whatever.
One thing I do want to tell you is I love happyplacehemp.com. I got that promo code BART, 25% off. Get some gummies. Get those stocking stuffer gummies, Horvat. I'm going to send some out to you.
Thank you.
The Delta 8s, Delta 9s, the THCOs. I like to mix the red and the green ones and feel a little Christmassy. And then get a little, I took some of the, I call them the nighttime ones. The purple ones help me sleep. And my girl, Patty, she nailed it. She says, man, I took those. And I'm like, they're not going to work. And as soon as I thought that, I was out.
Boom.
So I like those. There's a lot of different things. Tim Shea has a brother who has a dog who is living his last days of life. And he's a freakazoid. Great show, by the way. And the hemp spray, the CBD spray, has helped mellow this dog out to enjoy his last days on God's green earth. Happyplacehemp.com. The promo code is BART. Get 25% off every order. Great Christmas gift.
Make sure my stocking stuffers are the ones with the THC.
Well, I'll get you the THCOs. Those are the ones that you need.
We move on to the next game, which features the New York Jets. Ooh! I'm betting this game now. The Jets are up to 10. It went from 9.5 to 10. Jets are 10-point dogs, taking on the Bills. Jets. Mike White stunk in the red zone. Minnesota had no business winning that game, dude. No business winning that game. They're a very fraudulent team.
Is Mike White the answer?
No.
Like Zach Wilson's not the answer. He sucked when they drafted him.
Yeah.
We were on that. But just because Mike White replaces Zach Wilson doesn't mean he's good. Jets are currently the 7th seed. A lot of Jets fans after one game, they want to be the Bears so bad and have their quarterback of the future. Jets fans would probably rather be the Bears, eliminated from the playoffs, if they knew they had their QB of the future. Instead, they're 7-5. They are not going to make the playoffs. The Chargers are going to get in there, or the Patriots, or Deshaun Watson, whatever. Something's going to happen. Jets are not going to make it. They're going to lose this weekend. They suck.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm not going to bet this game. I'm
going to take the Bills on the 10. I'm going to take the Bills on the 10.
Yeah, the Jets beat them already. I think the Bills are going to kick the shit out of them. I think the Bills right now, and I know that it sucks that they lost Von Miller, especially with his 8 sacks. He was getting pressures on like 12% of dropbacks. He was having a ridiculous season. And they spent that money because in the playoffs, he's going to chase down Patrick Mahomes and, well, I almost said Justin Herbert. They ain't going to the playoffs. Joe Burrow and my Bengals and my guy Joe Burrow. I need a Joe Burrow one of these. Next time you see me, I might have one. And now he's done for the year. But I think Buffalo still is like a sleeping giant right now. All we're talking about is
Buffalo's my Super Bowl. I'll sing it from the mountaintops.
Yeah, I think they're going to pound the Jets. So actually, might bet. I'm not going to bet that. I was thinking about teasing it, but I would only get it to but I'll take the Bills here on this.
You know what this is for me? This is my golden chicken, 10 pieces of chicken bucket pick of the week. And what I mean by that is the Bills have a 10-point spread, and a 10-piece gets 10 pieces of chicken. And when you eat that 10-piece of chicken, you say, that was good, man. I could have still eaten some more chicken. So the Bills are going to be 10-point favorites, but that spread could still be a little bit more. You've got room for maybe 1 or 2 more points of chicken. So I'm going to take the Bills as my 10-piece bucket of the week.
I freaking love it, man. I love it. All right, Browns. They look like doo-doo, but they still covered and won against the Texans. Deshaun Watson and the Browns, 5.5-point dogs. This one from 6 to 5.5 while we record. Bengals, 5.5-point favorites at home. Joe Burrow has never beat the Cleveland Browns. So Mahomes can't beat Burrow. Burrow can't beat the Browns. I do think Cincinnati wins this game, but Cleveland's going to cover that number. Cleveland's season's on the line here. Bengals win this one.
But the Bengals they're projecting, rejecting. They're going up.
Yeah.
I like the Bengals to cover. I do. Okay. At home. The battle for Ohio.
Yeah. This is my...
Hey, did we talk college football playoff rankings?
No, we're going to, though. Actually, I have a bet for you.
Okay, at the end. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end. This next game is my holy shit. Grab your ibuprofen, because this game has my brain in a pretzel and it's giving me a headache trying to handicap it, where the Jags are +4. The Titans, -4. The Titans are favored by 4 points, coming off a disappointing blowout loss to the Eagles. My problem here, we don't know if we're going to get Trevor Lawrence while we're recording this here podcast. We may get your guy, CJ Beathard, former Iowa Hawkeye great, who led the Hawkeyes to the Rose Bowl, only to get fisted by Christian McCaffrey and Stanford in that matchup. I'm going to bet the Jags +4. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to play in this game. I think the Jags are shit. But I do think that they're going to keep this one close. They might even win this game against the Titans. I think the Titans might lose out. And I'm rooting for that, because I bet them under 10.5 wins. And I'm mad at them because they lost me $500 last week. Go Jags. Keep this one close. The Fighting Doug Peterson, CJ Beathard, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Christian Kirks. I'm going Jags.
The Titans are the one team I feel like I have a handle on when it comes to spreads each and every week. I have the Titans theory. When people start feeling them, like this week. So the Bengals, if the Bengals were the Titans, they're rising up, and now they got the Browns coming. The Bengals will win that game. But if they were the Titans, they would lose, because that's what the Titans do. How well do you know the Titans theory? How do you know my pick in this game?
You're going to take the Jags here.
I'm going to take the Jags.
Yeah.
Titans theory gives me the Jags all day long. And then next day, or as my son says, my son calls yesterday last day.
Yeah.
Very cute. And he also, when he's alone, he says, am I going to go to the store by my loan? Oh, he's so cute. I love him.
Yeah, I like that. Never correct him. Like, I remember,
never. It's too cute. It's too cute.
Just let him do it.
If he pees his pants, he has an accident.
Yeah, like my kid's 9 and he still says some shit. And like my wife's like, well, it's time. And I'm like, and my mom is an English teacher and I'm an English major, but I don't care. I think it's funny. As long as he's not going to
swear words, he knows some and he knows they're bad. I realized it was never like out of the house. I drove him home from daycare the other day, and we like to play a game where because our daycare is like a straight shot down it's real easy. So we take a longer way. We call it the crazy way. And then we got to our house. He goes, hey, it's our fucking house.
Shut up. Really?
Yeah. And then I thought, okay, that's a one-time thing. And then this morning he came into the room and I'm like, all right, buddy, you ready to go to school? And he just said, fucking shit, 5 times.
Shut up.
Yeah, we swear too much. But it's funny.
You know what's funny? My kid used to do that too. He would just be like, fuck. And I'd be like, oh man, right before we're like going to my grandmother's house. But now he doesn't say bad words. He learned they're wrong. All right, we got the Ravens. They're 2.5-point dogs taking on the Steelers. The Fighting Kenny Pickett's 2.5-point favorites. No Lamar Jackson. I grabbed the Ravens +3. I'm probably on the wrong side here. I like Tyler Huntley, though, and I know that Kenny Pickett and the Steelers are playing pretty good football right now. They're still alive in the playoffs. They're 5-7. I think Harbaugh will have a good game plan here, though. I took the Ravens to at least keep this game close.
Yeah, I don't like that the Pittsburgh Steelers are favored.
Yeah.
I would rather be on the Ravens side of that. Lamar or no Lamar.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Ravens, too. I think the George Pickens thing, like what's going on there? He's mad he's not getting the ball.
Hey, he wants to come to Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens. And credit the NFL, because normally this is a Monday Night Football game. And just like the rest of the world is sick of seeing Packers-Bears, we're sick of seeing Ravens-Steelers. So,
yeah, but Packers-Bears is always for most wins in NFL history.
Which I have to be honest, I really that does not move the needle for me.
I own you my entire fucking life. I own
What
you.
is interesting about that is the most wins in NFL history thing has been like it was like 40 wins of a gap 10 years ago. And the Packers are just like, the Bears have sucked that bad.
Yeah.
I think
I'm immunized.
Nope, just not. What, Rogers?
I'm immunized. All right, we got the here's one. This is my holy shit. Is this a college football game? Because the Cowboys are a 17-point favorite at home over the Texans. And I gotta be honest with you, man. I know it's 17. Actually, no. Davis Mills is back this week.
That's too high. Too high.
Yeah, give me the Texans +17.
Too high.
I'm not betting this, though.
No, I love the 17 is too high.
Can't do it.
How the hell is it? This should be like, what would you bet this at? 12? 11 and a half?
God. I don't even think I'd take. I mean, like, I don't even. No, I wouldn't do anything with this game.
Do you know what it opened at? Has it moved?
I've seen the Texans. No, it opened. Well, on the way look ahead, this was early. This was an 8-point spread, but like I'm like the year like.
I mean, Dallas put up 50 against the Colts. So what you're saying, what Vegas is saying is what you just saw is going to happen again.
Yeah.
17. I would. If the Bills are 10-point favorites, the Cowboys should be like 13 and a half, I'd say.
Yeah, we'll go Texans here, consensus. All right, let's move on to this is my, hey, is that a banana in your pocket or are you just happy to see me game of the week? Because I'm probably on the wrong chalky side here. I like the Niners. Their defense is ridiculous. Nick Bosa had 3 sacks. Fred Warner, sideline to sideline type linebacker. I wish we had in Green Bay. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. But you're giving me Tom Brady as a 3.5-point dog. I know that there's shit over San Francisco, his boyhood, the team that he wanted to, he grew up cheering for, just like Rodgers. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers +3.5. I'll be Chalky McChalkerson here. I don't give a shit.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I call him Bryce Purdy. That guy, Iowa State legend, Brock Purdy.
Horvat, the Buccaneers are 12 games in 6-6.
Yeah.
And every week in DraftKings, I do the same thing. I say to myself, this will be the week Tom Brady throws 5 touchdowns, even though he has averaged 1.3 touchdowns a game. I don't know. I don't think that Tampa can do it, but I don't think that Brock Purdy should be a favorite in his first start. So I will take Tampa reluctantly.
Yeah.
And I will lose $20 in the DraftKings Millionaire taking Brady Godwin Evans stack like I do every fucking week.
I feel like you kind of have it. Plus, it's hard not to be romantic about football. All right, we move on. We got the Kansas City Chiefs on the road, 9.5-point favorites against your Denver Broncos. This is gross, but I bet the Broncos +9.5. Not because they're going to score any points, but because their defense. Eventually, I feel like that defense is just going to quit. They're going to be like, fuck these guys, because Russell Wilson stinks, and they can't score any points offensively. And your boy, Nathaniel Hackett, seems to be a doofus, huh? Give me the Broncos, though, +9.5 at home. Chiefs, everybody's going to bet the Chiefs, thinking bounce back win. They just got beat by Burrow and the Bengals again. Chiefs will win this game, But they'll win this game by 7. They'll be up 14, and then Russ Wilson rolls to his right, flings a dart in the end zone, backdoor cover, boom. Yeah, like that.
What's the chant the Broncos always chant?
I don't know.
Broncos have this chant that's like, hoo, ha, hoo.
I don't think I've ever noticed that. Really? I mean, I'm sure, yeah.
It's third down. And then incomplete. They always chant. I hate the Broncos.
Yeah.
I hate them. I hate their existence. I hate them. As much as I hate, okay, so obviously I hate Minnesota the most.
Yeah.
But I used to hate the Cowboys. Now they're kind of fun. I used to hate Seattle. Now I don't like them at all, but I don't care. I hate the Broncos, dude. I hate the Broncos. God, I hate them. Fuck them. Kansas City.
All right. Wow. Okay. We're against each other then.
I don't know. Do you need more analysis than that? Can I host BetMGM tonight if I just said,
yeah,
fuck, I hate the Broncos.
You're in. I realize I bet a lot of underdogs because I took Carolina on the opener +5.
Well, you and I are kind of like underdogs, so maybe we. Maybe
you know who else was an underdog? The kid that had to go to Butte Community College in Cal because his only other offer was Illinois. Yeah. Had to sit behind Brett Favre for years. Remember? I think we're gonna. Oh, I think we're gonna run the table. All right, I'm betting the Panthers, man, coming off the bye.
Yeah, I just want to say, if you've been listening, just audio, and there's parts of the show where you're like not sure what's happening. Horvat has a Rodgers fathead that has co-hosted this show.
No, he's just giving us some of the great Aaron. I'm just trying to make you fall back in love with Aaron Rodgers. So we're going over some.
I told the story on yesterday's podcast. Remember when Michaels drove through a Cousins and asked for the Bill Michaels and they didn't know what it was?
Yeah, like every day because it wasn't a real story. Thing.
People,
it wasn't a real thing. It was just like the sandwich that Bill ordered, and he just like thought that everybody knew.
Yeah, I had a Bart's Big Breakfast. That was on the receipt at Perkins.
I have the Horvat.
Is it relevant that Milwaukee's full of Cousins right now and the closest Perkins is in Oshkosh? No, irrelevant. I had a breakfast.
You did. This is true. You did. I'm taking Carolina because the great-grandson of the late, great Dick Hammer, Sam Darnold, is coming off the bye. Carolina's deep. Carolina's still alive for the playoffs somehow. Give me Carolina +4. Seattle's kind of come back down to earth lately.
I got to take Seattle there.
I like women a lot.
Carolina cross country with Sam Darnold, you like?
Yeah. Love it.
I like women.
Remember when Rodgers had to go on Will D's show because the rumors about him and his
yeah. Oh, see, it's always something.
Hurt my knee. All right, let's go to the wait. You're taking the Seahawks?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really seen a lot of Seahawks games because they usually play at 3, and I watch it on Red Zone, and that's usually like, for whatever reason, my son's an angel on every day of the week except for Sunday afternoon from 5 to 7 when the late games are ending. Yeah. Also, I don't like to call people angels when they're shit. I feel bad about that.
It's not COVID toe.
What was I going to say? Oh, so I haven't seen them a lot. Also, I really have to reiterate this because I feel like I say this to a wall. Andrew Siciliano is so fucking bad at what he does.
I know. I got him this year too.
He's so bad. Scott Hansen, he lets the games. Scott Hansen narrates you through the coverage of 7 hours. Siciliano tries to do play-by-play for every game at the same time when there's people that are actually in the stadiums. And also, Joe Davis is the new Tom Brenneman. He screams on every play. Joe Davis, relax. Don't darken your eyebrows for one Sunday and just relax.
I heard he's kind of a prick, too.
These are the stories that are being shared in the media.
What about your guy, Tessitore?
Tessitore. See, my problem with Tessitore and McDonough is on Monday night, they were not a fit for that. But those two are brilliant on college. Tessitore's great on boxing. McDonough does hoops, right? McDonough.
You always say that, but like, who the fuck knows if he even is? Because nobody watches that shit.
but no,
Like, who's watching heavyweight fights at 10 p.m. on ESPN on Saturday?
No, but when I've seen, look, those guys are great.
I'm always like,
we're terrible on Monday Night Football.
I'm always like, oh, there's a free boxing match, 10 p.m. I'll just bet this shit. There's nothing else on.
I don't like Joe Buck and Troy on Monday Night Football. Did I talk to you about this? I don't like them on Monday night.
I don't know.
It seems like they're too like, hey, look at us. We were there, now we're here.
You know what I like about Troy this year is Troy just shits on any quarterback that he doesn't like. He was so hard on Matt Ryan the other night, and rightfully so. Matt Ryan
sucks.
But he was like pretty much saying that. Anything Matt Ryan did, Troy just picked apart. I love those guys.
Even though for most of his career, Troy Aikman looked and played exactly how Matt Ryan is now. Yeah, Troy Aikman was not that good.
Oh, it was Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Alvin Harper.
Troy Aikman was the quarterback of the Cowboys when they were like, okay, you can compare Emmett to Pollard and Zeke. You can compare CeeDee Lamb and Irvin. You can't compare Dak and Troy. Fuck, even Tony Romo. Tony Romo's winning all those Super Bowls with the Cowboys.
Tony Romo was good too. You know who was I mean, they just weren't Favre. Like growing up, and Steve Young was always like effing us. Like and I loved watching Steve Young because like I felt like you could be Steve Young. He wasn't the biggest dude. He was always just like running around, like flinging darts, using his legs.
Him and Zach Wilson are boys because they're both Mormon.
Yeah, but the difference is Zach Wilson freaking stinks. But like Favre was the guy you wanted to watch every Sunday. You know, I mean, he just like was always hurt, was always risking his body. He was always just, you know, it was either going for 6 or it was going to be picked off. But goddamn, was that fun for, you know, years.
Hey, isn't it kind of ironic that Favre hates the poor when he was so good at giving away possessions?
Let me ask you this. I'd like to ask every Packer fan this. If you got a phone call knowing everything you know about Brett Favre, and they were like, hey, you just won a weekend golf trip with Brett Favre from Friday to Sunday in Mississippi, would you go?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, me too.
It's Favre.
How many people do you think would be like, no, count? How many people do you think would be watching? That's my point though about like social media and shit. And I'm done with Favre, right? I'm not like sticking up for Favre. Fuck Favre. But I would like have to go. You
didn't take money from me.
Would you? What if they called you and they said you've won a weekend golf getaway, Jesus, with Donald Trump, and it's from Friday to Sunday? Would you go on a weekend getaway with Donald Trump?
No.
I think I would. Could I bring a recorder? I mean, like, I go on these weekend getaways with, like, my wife and her friends. I fucking hate all of them. Like, the husband works at, like, the husband, you're like, he's like, oh, God. And they're all, like, into fantasy, and they're asking you, like, the questions, you know, like, should I tell you Brandon Cooks? Or, like, they don't, I don't know. We're not going to get into it because my wife might see the clip or something. Anyway, would you go on a weekend getaway with Tom Brady, Donald Trump, and Brett Favre?
You'd almost have to you'd almost have to.
That's what I'm saying. For the stories, I would be like, Trump, you always said that like you were going to tell us all the shit that we wanted to know. I need to know more about these UFOs. Barack was on what on Late Night Show was Barack on when he was talking about the aliens and the UFOs?
I don't know, but Barack Obama is better at comedy than 80% of comedians that are on the road.
I love Barack.
He's got a very good cadence and delivery.
As a Chicago guy, love Barack. He's all we have now that Kanye and R. Kelly have been canceled. And Derrick Rose is on his third knee. But you know what I always used to hate about Barack is like every game.
Why are we doing this?
Every game he would have to be like, we would get Barack's pick. Like we'd get him, he'd be filling out his bracket, be like the Super Bowl. All right, let's go out to Barack. Good thing, I don't know, because we're just having.
Yeah, but he used to fill out his bracket, and then Trump wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I was actually like fine with that. All right, anyway, we got the Dolphins and the Chargers Sunday Night Football, right? Hey, Jack, it's a fact. Dolphins are back. Tua's playing with apple tackles, getting kicked in the sack.
I just want to say, while we did mention presidents' names and talk about them briefly, that was so tame that if anyone is offended, like we could not have had that conversation because you said, I don't know. I said Barack was funny, so someone's going to be calling me a lib or something.
I said I would go on vacation with Donald Trump. How would anybody want? How would even the Trumpers hate me? I would be like, buy me this the entire time. Yeah.
Where you get a prop?
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell the people here. I'm going to do a quick ad then. Hey guys, this is Ryan Horvat from BetMGM Tonight. You can catch us 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. When I'm back home in the Midwest, in the Wisconsin area by Hell's Corners, and I'm hungry as shit, maybe had a couple drinks, I call 414-427-5500 Golden Chicken. I get the Ryan Horvat special, which is mini tacos. I get a large order of those. I get 8 chicken breasts. I get a large fry. On Fridays, I get the cod. They got everything at Golden Chicken. Golden Chicken in Hell's Corners. It's finger-licking fucking good. 414-427-5500. Tell them Aaron Rodgers sent you.
I just want to show some people what I have in my basement.
Yeah, I want to see, kind of. I have this car.
You know, we talk about people, and I say I don't like, whatever. I just want to show some people some things I have.
Hey, you got a green screen now.
Yeah, Matt in the Falls. I have a Favre starting lineup, 1999, green jersey.
You should throw that away. He's a terrible human.
I have a Favre starting lineup, 1996. I have a Favre starting lineup, the same one as before, only a different one. I have a list of questions that I asked Barack Obama when I interviewed him in 2008 that he autographed.
We
And my press pass.
Me and Farby.
Framed. So we just have different, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. I have a banana. I have the Aaron Rodgers Fathead. I have, which I actually do recommend. They're not even paying me. These fuckers, I mean, they're 180 calories, I eat 2 of these. My ass jiggles for a week, but I like these chocolate chip big chewies. And then my kid right now is really into, as I told you, the Titanic. He is really into the Titanic right now.
You did tell me that.
And
no, I'm done with the prop comedy. I just wanted to brag about Obama.
Oh, okay.
But for the rest of the show, I will be wearing the headset that I stole when I worked at Charter Communications.
One of my, yeah. They still talk about you there as one of the greats to come through.
Hi, this is Bart. Welcome to Charter. How may I help you?
I'm going to take the Dolphins actually to rebound. The Chargers are shit. They can't stop the run.
No, I like doing this bit. Call me like you just need internet.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, pretend like you're calling up a cable company and you just need internet. Hi, this is Bart. Welcome to Charter. How may I help you?
Hi, yeah. Just moved into my new place. I would like to set up my internet.
We can get you first before you want the thing that you are clearly calling for. Do you mind if I ask you 15 different personal questions and take up 40 minutes of your time?
Yeah, actually, I'm in a hurry. I'm on my lunch break. I only got 10 minutes. I got to get back to Foot Locker.
Excellent. Well, I will go a little quicker then. I just want to get to know you just so we know that you have the right package for you. All right. You can get internet. I see it's available in your area. What kind of things do you like to do online?
Masturbate. I like to look at sports scores. I like to place bets. Yeah, pretty much masturbate.
And oh goodness,
Is that too much?
Are you more into the? I must ask, but do you watch videos, or are you more of like a still picture kind of guy, or do you go just based on memory?
I used to be a pictures guy growing up. Get your hands on your father's Playboys, but now these videos. I mean, there's chicks, there's like people in cages, just like like really going at it. So I'm kind of a video guy. I like the high definition. I really do have to hurry up though here.
Great. Okay. So what we can offer you is our highest speed internet with wireless capabilities.
How much is that?
That'll be $89.99, and the installation is $99.
And how soon can you guys get here?
Oh, but I didn't tell you that if we
No. I would like to just do that package, just that package. I don't need anything else. I already have everything I need. I have cable. I have DirecTV for the Sunday ticket. Big
Oh
Dolphins.
yeah, so you're a sports fan, you say?
Big Dolphins fan from
We can
Miami.
get you TV, internet, and phone for $10 a month. Please, God, let me put a phone in your house. Do you know what? I'm going to end this bit. But there was one of the sales guys, and thank you for your masturbation stories. But there were one of the sales guys who were so. I've never been more afraid in a job ever, because they listened to every call and they would dissect. Like, even in radio, they don't dissect the things that I said the way that they did at Charter, and they dissect it. And if you were like, "Hi, I'm Bart," instead of "Hello, I'm Bart," you got like penalized. But then they let this one guy at the end of the row say, "Look, I got to level with you, Diane. I haven't been able to feed my kids. I'm a twice divorced guy. I need this. I need this sale." And they would let him do it.
I like the Dolphins to win, even by 3.5 over the Chargers. The Chargers are that team that like everybody was all hyped up about, and they just couldn't stay healthy.
Well, Staley is so bad. This might be the biggest coaching mismatch of the year.
Boom, boom. Sean Payton will coach the Chargers next year. Yep. He's not going to Dallas. Dallas ain't firing the big guy. The big guy's a highly successful football coach. Sean Payton, though, the problem is I hope he doesn't keep that idiot Joe Lombardi, who's still calling plays for Drew Brees when he has.
I'll never get over Staley could have just tied and made the playoffs, but instead he lost.
Remember when everybody liked him and we were like posting his quotes? "Oh, this guy is a breath of fresh air." It's like, no, he sucks.
Well, are we doing the same thing with McDaniel now?
No, I like him. I actually think did you see the other game? He's like, "No, I fucked up." I like him a lot. I don't think there's any like fakeness to him. I think he's just like, he's a guy that like could do whatever. He's a genius and he just loves football. But I think he's like a player's coach. I think he kind of like tells the guys how it is. I don't think he's like a Bill Belichick where he's just gonna like
be honest with them. All people want in jobs is they want honesty and they crave to be recognized when they do well. If you give them those two things, you can criticize constructively and you can foster their growth.
Exactly.
That's why coming from someone who is currently working ? From his basement and tanked an interview last week and may never set foot in an office again. Trust me on the office culture that you need to know.
Are you taking the Dolphins or the Chargers?
You know, that strategy that one guy had, maybe I'll start saying I need to feed my kid.
Who?
I'm going to take the Dolphins.
I'm such a baby. What about this one? Monday Night Football. The Cardinals +1.5. The Patriots on the road favored by 1.5 points. I'm actually going to take the Cardinals. I think they're going to, I think with like Hollywood Brown, D-Hop on the field.
So you want to talk about coaching Mitch
I know.
Kingsbury versus Belichick?
Yeah, I'm taking Arizona. Mac Jones, dude.
Count him.
This has nothing to do with Belichick. Matt Patricia sucks. He's not a good defensive mind, and for some reason,
just run Ramondre all day. Ramondre is going to have 200 yards. All right, ready?
Yeah.
What's the spread?
1.5. Picked.
Bach, Bagak. Quadruple cluck of the week. They will win by 6. The Patriots will. Golden Chicken in Hale's Corners. 414-427-5500. 414-427-5500.
All right, really quickly. We got through all the games. So my bet for the college football playoff, you're going to laugh maybe if you're dumb. I've been trying to explain this to people on social media, but galaxy brains. I bet Ohio.
Quick, I got to ask you this.
Okay.
Should they have done Michigan, Ohio State again?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I say no. We just saw it. Give us different matchups.
No, I think
you get these intra-conference matchups so rarely in college. This is the first time ever Wisconsin's playing Ohio State. I don't want to see Michigan play Ohio State again.
No, I would. What I would have done. The only beef. I mean, they got it right. Even though I think TCU are frauds, they only have one loss. But I think what I would have done. I feel like Georgia kind of got screwed. I think Georgia should have got TCU. They're the undefeated defending champs, and I think Michigan. So I think they should have actually. because I feel like Georgia's almost like Ohio State's not a great matchup. Here's what I did. I bet Ohio State to win it all plus 350. Ohio State all season long, we were all like, man, if Ohio State played Georgia on a neutral, they'd probably give them the best fight. Then they lost one game. They played like shit. Granted, it was at home, windy conditions. CJ Stroud, that offense couldn't get anything going in the second half. They got just beat up on. But like we did this with Georgia last year, and then I bet Georgia got destroyed by Alabama in the SEC title game, and then they were still favored over Bama in the national title game when they met again, and everybody was like, oh, you got to take the points with Saban, and I hammered Georgia on the money line. I'm not saying Ohio State's going to win this game, but look at it like this. If they beat Georgia, they're only 6.5-point dogs. Georgia's minus 145 to win it all. So if you think Georgia's this fucking lock, greatest college football team of all time, bet Georgia minus 145. But if you want to actually try to get some value here, you bet Ohio State plus 350. Because if Ohio
betting
State...
value,
hold on. Because somebody said, why wouldn't you bet Michigan plus 260? Here's why. So you bet Ohio State plus 350 because if they beat Georgia, Michigan's beating TCU. Michigan's going to pound the shit out of TCU. So they'll meet again in that rematch. And in that game, at Ohio State closed as a 9.5-point favorite in that game. They're not going to be that big of a favorite, but they're still going to be favored by 3.5 points. The market's not going to adjust 12 points because of one disappointing loss for Ohio State. So you could perfectly hedge that bet, and you could take Michigan plus 3 around the money line and at least get your money back, but you're still holding a plus 350 ticket. In Ohio State, I really think they're going to win it all. I think they'll beat Michigan if they play him again, even without Jackson Smith in the jig, but he hasn't played all year. I know Blake Corum didn't matter in that game or, against Purdue. They covered against Purdue, but I think Ohio State's the value bet because TCU has no chance, and you'll be able to bet Michigan in the national title game, whether you want to take them against Georgia or if you want to take them against Ohio State, you're going to get plus money on the money line. So I'm taking a shot with Ohio State plus 350. Nobody could comprehend it. What were you going to say? Sorry.
No, I mean, you talked through it pretty well. I think Georgia's going to win, so I wouldn't around with Ohio State. But if there's a way to get your money back later,
yeah, and that's what I mean. I mean, or I don't know, man. I think Ohio State might beat Georgia. Georgia is good, especially defensively, but like Stetson Bennett's prone.
These games on New Year's Eve again.
Yeah, and I'll be
anniversary. That sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. I'll be in Green Bay actually. I'll be staying. We rented a house actually in Green Bay, close to Lambeau Field. I decided I'm going to the game just in case it's Rodgers' last game at Lambeau Field.
How close? Because I just stayed at a house there. Maybe it's the same.
I got to check. I think it's like 5-10 minutes only.
Oh, I got a great story.
All right, tell me.
Speaking of coincidences, so on Wednesday night, do a live show. Talking Bucks. And Tim Shea was at the game.
The Bucks game?
Yeah. Then he goes home, does the rest of the show with me. And on the side, he drives Uber a little bit and Lyft.
That's
and so I say goodbye to Tim Shea. Within 3 minutes, he says, I have your brother. And my brother's FaceTiming me. My brother was also at the game, the one that lives in Milwaukee. And so Tim ended with me. And then his first Lyft ride home was my drunk brother.
Shut up.
It was high comedy.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think it was more of a you had to be there thing.
Sounds like it. No, actually, it's a pretty good story. All right, man. I got to get going. We've been doing this for an hour and 8 minutes.
Yep. I'm going to just play a couple voicemails and say goodbye. So this is my informal, formal goodbye to you. And I appreciate your time. And I'll talk to you next week.
If I hit leave studio, is it going to screw anything up?
Nope. You'll be gone and I'll be all here by my loan.
Hey, man. See you later. Have a great weekend. Go Buckeyes.
All right. Ryan Horvat. Always a pleasure. Carl's Place voicemail line. Check out Carl's Place, carlvt.com. They've got golf simulators that you can customize yourself. I mean, I can fit a green screen in here. Why not just put a simulator up here? And yeah, I got plenty of room down here. There's also on my Twitter a pinned tweet that takes you through my affiliate link. So do that. This is from John in Franklin. I think we're going to talk a little. Well, he might be all over the place. Let's talk to John.
Good morning. This is the John and Franklin. Few thoughts as we take a break from our painful football season. So they say if a tree falls in the woods, the question is asked if anyone hears it. If David Stearns goes to the winter meetings and makes no deals, was he really there? And I can't even be mad at him.
Oh, does John not know that Matt Arnold? John, I'm going to say that was force of habit. So now Stearns is on a beach somewhere. He don't care about baseball no more. Anyway, point made. Brewers did nothing.
As I watch competitors, what last year were close competitors to ours. We were a couple games away from beating Philly out of the last playoff spot. Think that's going to happen this year? It's been 2 years since this team could hit the ball. And don't forget, we got bounced out of the playoffs against Atlanta because we could flat out not hit, and we could not adjust to their pitchers, just flailing away like idiots. And now our solution to that is going to be bringing up all these young players and putting the pressure on them that they got to perform or the team collapses. Not exactly a recipe you would think for success, but the Brewers are really backed into a corner with this stupid money and the imbalance in the MLB. And it, when they had the contract up, I had such hopes. I didn't believe it, but I still had hopes that maybe some sort of salary cap would be put in place, because this is just going to become more and more like college football. The haves and the have-nots. And I don't envy the position the Brewers management is in, And if I, as a business guy, Ananasio is well aware of his ability to compete and throwing good money after bad. And if a guy sitting on his couch can figure this math out, I'm pretty sure a guy with $700 million can. I'm out.
I think that, because I've talked a lot about this with people, with you guys, about how the Brewers it's hard to compete in baseball when you have all these teams that can just steal a guy like Xander Bogaerts away. And the Padres they didn't care. They're getting somebody. They were getting somebody. They got Bogaerts. Tried for Judge. Tried for Turner. I think why last year was so painful is we might have thought, this might be the Brewers' last shot, because it's going to separate even more. I mean, forever there was the Yankees, but now there's a few more teams that are going to spend. There's the Dodgers, the Yankees, I guess not the Red Sox, I guess the Padres, the Phillies. And that gap between the haves and the have-nots is going to be bigger. And the Brewers were able to compete even within that gap for a while. 2018 could have been really special. But then the last, you see this happening, and then the move you make in 2021 is trade your closer for some young, controllable talent. So I think that ultimately the frustrations, I think a lot of it was maybe we don't even know it, or it's just retroactively we're able to talk about it. I think the problem with the Brewers is last year there was so much frustration because we could all see it coming, what's going to happen with Major League Baseball. And the Brewers, instead of trying one last gasp, have fallen down to that, because you're not going to win with a lineup with Mike Brosseau hitting in the 5 spot. And that's where we're going to be. I don't know what moves the team makes. I mean, you're going to have to hope that a lot of these guys pop. But even then, you're going against $400 million lineups in the playoffs if you get there. So it's a frustrating time. It is frustrating. I don't think you've got owners and markets that want to spend. I don't think you penalize people for wanting to spend money to win. But also, what do you do if you're a Brewer fan? You can't just have 3 markets hope for nothing, or hope for the World Series, and the other 27 do nothing. But I don't know. Again, we're a capitalistic society, and we want socialism in our sports. And with that, I will bid you adieu for the weekend. What do we got even coming up this weekend? More World Cup today. I don't think the weather's going to be good on this Friday. I was going to try to hit up Croatian Park as Croatia's playing Brazil, and there's a lot of old men that gather at the park to watch the games. So we'll see, weather pending. Netherlands, Argentina. Saturday, Morocco, Portugal, England, France. I might be at Nomad for that one with Milwaukee Pro Soccer, but I'll be out and about Friday and Saturday watching the World Cup. Bucks in action Friday night against the Mavs. That's a late one, I believe. And then Sunday night, there's a lot going on Sunday. Every college basketball team that I follow is in action. Marquette at Notre Dame, The Panthers play a school from Chicago I've never heard of. And then the Badgers have a game too. So if you want to get a little Badgers, they are in Iowa, I suppose. We could talk about them. So that we'll do a live show Sunday night, sort of around halftime of the Sunday night football game. You can have that on, talk to us. Try not to take up too much of your valuable time. And then on Monday, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. Still up to something, but I may have a very short show on Tuesday. I don't know yet. There's things that I'm juggling, but it'll be worth it. Golden Chicken, thanks to them, goldenchickenhc.com. Check them out. You have a good weekend, and we will talk on Sunday night here on YouTube and on this podcast, wherever you get your podcast.